Okay. Now the strut won't fit flat because he's still got these edges on here. Now if we grind these off, we can get it flat on the surface here.
Aren't those supposed to be there though?
Well, if we weren't changing everything around, yes. We keep changing things. See, the strut gets that much wider when you do that.
Yeah.
It's a matter of you want it to be. It can be here, it can be here. Now our bolt will fit through all the way.
Nice.
You got the camera so high in the air.
Oh, I thought it was a good view.
From top angle?
Yeah.
Where's the other bolt?
There.
There's a washer.
I didn't have a washer.
Oh. Picture. Alright, so now the strut's going inward a little bit.
Yeah.
Get your tape measure up. Well, then. See, there's no room for the bolts. See, that Fender fit in this perfectly. See how that works?
Yeah.
The struts are too wide.
Well, if we drill a hole in the fender, then it'll, right? Like we can just drill a hole in the fender and it'll be fine, right?
Yeah. Your camera shot sucks.
Does it?
You see the tape measure.
There's also the front little bracket that it's getting stuck on.
Yeah, we're gonna have to move this down, but I can't move down to the bolts right away, but it won't sit this high. It'll sit a lot lower than this. If I move this strut in a little bit. Seven and 7/7/8. Fender's 7.5. 3/8 of an inch difference. We're not sure where the wheel's going to be in here in the swing arm yet. We haven't got swing arm back on the bike yet. At least now we put the struts on the bike, which we couldn't do before. And try to figure out what we're going to do with this thing. So these struts need to be bent inward like this a little bit, which I have done before on my bike, but it easily screws up the chrome when you do that. So we have to decide how we want to do this. If I angle it, I can do it that way. Got to get the struts coming in an angle like this, and then when I get back to here, I bend them back out. Here they would hit that angle. I think that's our option there. If I grind this a little bit, it'll pull in even further. See, if you were here, you would have saw all that.
What?
Look at how I would butcher this. Where's those fancy new shocks?
Behind you.
Everything's behind me.
You want me to grab it?
Yeah, I'm busy. I'm giving my knees a workout.
Yep. So fancy.
I only need one. These don't fit. These don't fit.
They don't fit?
What, these metric? Foreign junk?
Aren't they for a Harley?
Enough for this Harley. So these studs don't fit.
Great.
I wanted to see how close we were on our clearances here, but I can't even get to it.
Something else that doesn't fit.
We need,
I like it.
we need a different stud. Alright, we need some 1/2 inch studs. Alright, I'll be back.
Alright. What are they?
Metric.
But what size?
590 thou.
In millimeters, that's
15. $15mm. That I'm not sure about. I can't get into this one. Yep, there's 15. So the problem is we don't have metric vehicles around here. So I got to custom make everything. The other big problem is this swing arm, which has welded in studs, are 5/8. So I can turn these down to metric to make them work. No easy task in itself, but we don't have much option here. Now the other thing is I don't know where I need to have the shock at. I think these are going to be pretty far out. See, these shocks are really narrow on the stud. So you don't need to be factory width, see the length here. We don't need that much length to mount these. So if we're always going to use a shock like this, well, we're going to be committed to the shock, I'm going to have to make a special stud, so it's going to be this size. So that means I have to turn these, I can turn these all the way down and get rid of all this big area we don't need. But we have to be out far enough that we clear the strut, which is right here. That's what I want to see. See the clearance issue on this strut?
yeah.
See,
Is it ever gonna? It'll never get that
we
bad.
need to space it out a bunch on the shoulder. So we need to have a lot of area. Yeah, but even to the shock body, I'm still a 1/4 inch short at least. Because these are going to be up in the air. They're going to hit on the strut. I have to clear the whole strut. So we need to be about 3/4 of an inch wide, and minimum on that stud length there to clear. And what you don't see, there's a bolt head right there. Bolt head gets in the way too.
Oh, the one on the second.
Right here,
Yeah.
to the frame.
Yeah.
It's here. This bolt head can go this way, but it still has a bolt head. So that means we need to have a lot more stud on here. We'll move it out. See that there?
Yeah, it's close.
Needs to go way out to here. So we need this much length here. That camera's not seeing none of this, so you gotta get the camera over here. No, you have to get the camera hold the damn thing. You have to work. So we need to be about 1 inch sticking out here to get clearance for a bolt head here. So this needs to hang on 1 inch. So we have to space it out. We need 1 inch offset here. Now, I'm not sure where the swing arm is because can't hold it up too. stud doesn't fit in the hole. It's too short. That stud's too short to go in the hole. Alright, so we need more length here. So I need some different mock-up studs. So now I know what I need for studs. So let's go over to our mock-up stud. Find some studs that we can use.
All right.
Okay, I grabbed a big twin stud here.
A little bit longer.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Perfect.
So we space it out enough that we can clear everything. Alright, so we have to do something like this far out to make it clear right here. So
Yeah.
otherwise they don't clear. Okay, where's your pivot bolt for the Swingarm pivot?
Pivot bolt for the Swingarm pivot?
Got one?
The big bolt that goes on the inside there?
I need all the guts that fell out of here. Need a bearing, washer, a clip.
Is no. I know where the pivot went.
It's all laying there somewhere. It all came out.
This is not the pivot, right? It's just
That would be a rear axle.
So these are the
That's
innards.
guts. It's a good sign. Should be a long bolt around here somewhere. Here's the studs I was looking for, I couldn't find. I could have used these. Let's see, there's one piece. Where's that bearing race you had out?
I brought it back here.
There you go. There's more missing parts. Where'd you put it? There you go. You're holding your hand.
There we go.
All in my hand.
Can you find the axle for the pivot?
Pivot? No, no, it's right there in that bag right there. Here you go, I'll trade. Some of this got your wheel, some of this Swingarm. I think these rusty ones came out of here. This came out of your bike. I don't need those. Don't need. Here, just stick that through the hole. This way. Perfect. Okay. I can't hook that up because it's the wrong spot. Okay, so that's pretty well straightened out though.
What do you mean? The shock is just very straight?
Yeah, if we look at it from the top angle, see how it's straight to the bike? It's not out like this.
Yeah. Yeah, looks good.
So we got to space out the top quite a bit. And the bottom can be cut in a little bit here. I'm going to recut it. It's way too long an overall length of the bolt. So I can play around with that a little bit if I want to. Okay, so this all has to be custom made to fit now. Now I'm not sure the shock this is actually going to be. I'm just going to lay it in there right now, but it looks like we're laying out pretty far. Okay. Now what I'm thinking on the shock is, on these struts, I take this here, put it in the press, tighten it down, and bend it down. So it bends right here. And that'll put the struts sitting straight back. It'll bend it like this. And then I might have to grind this away a little bit right here to get this over close right over here.
Yeah.
Then we take it, put the press again, and we bend it down. It stretches the metal right here, and then it'll make it go straight from your back. And that'll match up pretty close to the fender width right here.
Is that going to screw up the chrome?
Maybe. But that'll make our fender
Fit correctly.
fit in here like this, and our struts will be right next to the fender we want it to be. Now I can leave where it has like a washer. You go in between the strut if you want. Put a washer here and a washer here. Doesn't really matter. But that'll make the fender fit like it's supposed to. Now we still don't know where the wheel is relative to where the fender is. So we got to get this stuff mocked up a little bit before we start bending the struts around. Because the struts might have to be out a little bit further. The fender might have to be offset to the left here a little bit. Because the strut is not straight up and down, see?
Yeah.
So when we move this thing all the way in, like that, see we're going to be in too far. We hit the tire. So this strut might have to be way the hell over here. And this one over here would have to bend it even further, which would be a problem. What Harley did was they put one on the inside, one on the outside. That's how they did it. But we're too narrow to do that. We need to be somewhere over here. So I'll have to play around this a little bit. But I'm thinking this one's going to be offset that way a little bit. But until we get all this stuff in here where it belongs, we don't know. But right now I'm going to have to custom cut these studs down to metric sizes and make it all work. So the original set we had, I have to cut these down. And we'll have to put washers here, move them out here, which will help get rid of this extra length we got.
Yeah.
So I can play around with that a little bit. I can cut the shoulder back a little bit, and we just run this out further this way. So we have to play with it a little bit. All of this has to be done a little piece at a time. Good fun.
Good fun.
Yep. First thing to do is cut studs down.
Okay.
Forget which ones we're going to use. I'm thinking we're going to use this original set.
Really?
Yeah, see how they fit?
Yeah.
No extra?
This just needs to be cut down then.
Yeah, I gotta cut that down, yes. Because we're gonna have to we might have to dimple the fender a little bit to clear that as it is when this comes in. I don't think so, because it should sit about here. This bracket has to be bent out of the way. We're gonna be right up against this clip, but see we're nowhere near these, so we're fine on that length.
Yeah.
I don't know where we're gonna have this fender yet until we get on the bike. Now is the fender too far back? It looks like the fender's way too far back. So that means this probably has to be cut and bent down here in the front.
What needs to be cut down? Cut and bent down?
The front of the fender. To get it to go, the whole fender has to go forward.
Ah.
Because the center of the wheel is not here, it's probably up here.
Ah.
See where the axle is?
Yeah.
Hard to do this all with one hand, but okay, well the axle is the center of the wheel. So actually right now we're pretty close. That's about the center. And see where the strut hole is going to be? So we got flat material to work to.
Yeah.
So that might all work out. This bolt here doesn't line up very good for holding anything though, see? It won't go all the way, it won't go through the fender because it's in the radius part of the fender.
No.
It'll go in there, but it'll have to bend it to fit. So that'll be next thing to worry about. All right. So the first thing I do is cut studs down. So I'm going to use this stud here. We'll have to make up some spacers or use these big heavy washers, these radiate washers, to get our 1 inch length here. 1 inch. Oh, that doesn't go in there now, so anyway, 1 inch should go into here like that. So we can do it with just washers right here, or we have to make up something. But either way, it'll have to be spaced out that amount. And there's enough to put a washer on the other side of the shock and support it and have a nut, so we don't have a problem being too short here.
Cool.
Because you want to be too short. But I want to keep this as big as I can, so I have to measure from here to here, leave ourselves a good inch. So I only have to cut this down a little bit, you know, halfway. You want to keep this here as big as you can, so it doesn't want to break off. If you cut it down real short like this, all the way, you don't want to break right here. If it's only turned down right to here, it'll be a lot stronger because that's less length to bend against.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to set this up to be an inch out. And we're basically bottomed out on this side. I don't think we're even getting a full bolt out of this.
Just turning.
You mean my grip's not strong enough?
Mm-mm.
What if I use this?
Now it is.
See that bolt's not quite there?
Yeah.
So it's a little short, the stud. So that means I need to shorten this up a little more. Maybe I'll be out one more. And we still got enough length to do that. See where we're at?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll have to shorten this up a little bit more to get some length here. Or I got to find a different stud to use that has a little more length on the back side here. That's a little bit too short. And both of these were the same issue, same problem. So I can go find some more studs to work with. There's lots of studs back there, and they vary on the shankle here, the length out here, the length out here, the diameters, the threads. Some are 3/8, some are 1/2 inch. They vary all over the place. So I just got to find something to cut down. This one's a little bit short, but I can make it work. I'll see if I can find something better. All right, next thing we'll come back, we'll have some cut down studs. Okay, I'm trying to figure out the shock mounting here. I found these spacers here that came with the shocks I forgot about. And these adapt you to a 1/2 inch stud. So they recess up into here. And give you just a little bit of movement here, but not much. So if you put a big twin stud in here, 1/2 inch shank, you can see I get a little bit of movement here for the heim joint. So not much, but just a little bit. So you have to get these lined up pretty closely. I'll have to shorten up the stud here a little bit to make it fit correctly, or put a bunch of wash in there, or space it on this side if I need it. I have a little bit of room to work with. So go in here like this. Ah, damn it. That hurt. Alright, nailed it right in my damn elbow. Okay, so if you push that all the way in, that puts you right about in here. So if this is bent in a little bit, the strut's in a little bit, our bolt clears. If the strut sits out flat, it comes out, and then the bolt is going to be basically real close, but it should clear, but it'd be tight. I'd have to shorten up to the stud on this side of the frame, good 3/8 of an inch, probably about a 1/2 inch at least. I could shorten it probably 5/8 of an inch and still have what I need for a thread. So there's plenty of room over there to shorten that side up to do whatever we need. If we need to space these out a little bit more, then we can put shims in there and space everything out. Got a lot of room for playing if we need to. So that takes care of the problem up here. I can just cut down these big twin studs. The Sportster studs are too short here, too long there, too this, too that. I got a whole bunch of studs and they're all different lengths and sizes, and none of the stuff seems to line up correctly. So I've got lots of different ones here. Every time you turn around, it's a different length on the back side, different length here, different length from here to here. So we got short and longs here. Plus you got 1/2 inch, 3/8, and of course you mix them on the same studs back and forth. So trying to find anything that matches up's kind of a pain in the ass. So these ones here match up, but they're too short on the back side. It doesn't have a full nut. Put a bunch of spacers out here to move them out. but these are 5/8 of an inch. The shocks have a hind joint in them, and they're metric, so they're, I forget what size they were. Anyway, they're the wrong size, 15 millimeter, something like that, 16, whatever else, some odd size. Yeah, big yawn. All right, so anyway, I can use this stud here, make it work, shorten this side, shorten that side, and you know, they'll be on there. But I got plenty of room. I can go this way or that way, whatever way I need to go. I still got room to move them back and forth and play with them. So they're on the bike. The next problem is going to be down here on the bottom. So the other ones here, where the hell they ran off to? Where'd my bolt go? Bolt is somewhere around here. Roll this damn tripod down. Get down to ground level. There we go. Get the bolt out. What did I do with it? There it is. Right in front of me. Okay. There's no room for a tripod. There, we're making room for a tripod. Okay, so we got a bolt here, 1/2 inch bolt. These are the spacers that go in here, so just put them over there like that to hold them. Okay, these are for going over the shock down here. Okay, these top ones, they fit no problem. The bottom ones, they don't fit very well. So basically we have, this here goes in here, like this, if I had a 1/2 inch stud, which I don't. Okay, that goes in there, you tighten this down, and you got no clearance. It basically locks up on you. So that means the shock doesn't work. And that's how they were running it, but I don't really show evidence of it really binding up in here. You see how it was close right here. So, and you can see on these studs, they're marked on the inside where they're rubbing. See how they're all black in here? That's where they're rubbing real close. So the next thing is, what's the difference on our hind joint here where we're rubbing at? Is it hitting on that or not? So that's where I was at right now. I was going to go measure one of those. So let's move up to the front. Oh, working on the floor sucks. But I have more room on the floor, so it works. Okay, here's the other joint. Over here. Okay, so here is the hind joint that comes out of it. So this is held in with a snap ring right here. Little tiny snap ring. And this just pushes in here against the shoulder. So we pop the snap ring out. This one had a little bit of groove right here to get it out. This one over here, there's no groove to get the snap ring out. So have to have some kind of special snap ring pliing tool, I guess. Okay, so here's the bearing we got. So now if we take this bearing, stick it up on here, and assemble it. And the bearing has room to go back and forth, see? If there's room on the shock. Okay, now we take our caliper, measure across here. We've got 684, call it 685. Let's go over here and measure this. You can already see that we are quite a bit wider. 708. So that means these washers, if you tighten this bolt down, the shock wouldn't move, it'd be tight. And that's what I was getting on the other shock, but I didn't know if it was something different. So that means what you'd have to do is you have to space this out somehow to be wider. The problem is you're not going to come up with a spacer that is the thickness of this here, real thin. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to come in here and cut the shoulder here back, here, to gain some dimension to it. Otherwise I have to get a washer that will go over the OD of this to go over. Now that's going to be what, probably a 5/8 or something. Where am I at? Yeah, that's okay. We're on the wrong side. So that's got metric size, which was 15 millimeter. So if I had a 15 millimeter thin washer, an AN style washer, because it has to be real thin, then I can make that work. Now I might be able to make it work with a 5/8 AN washer and give me the dimensions I need. So let's go grab a 5/8 washer and see if that'll work. Got a lot of tight tolerance in here we got to deal with. So let's see what we got. I got some stainless washer. There's some other stuff to play with too. But okay, these are 1/2 inch. So these are 5/8. So those are way too big. So if I took something like this and bored the hole out, probably make that work. Let's see, we got our next drawer. Okay, 1/2 inch 5/8, same deal, 5/8 is too much. Now this is stainless steel, so a lot easier to work with than a chrome plated steel. Don't have to worry about flaking this junk. Okay, so if I grab 2 of these, boom. Back over here, and let's see if we can make this fly. Okay, so these are 1/2 inch. Okay, that would fit inside the shock here. So it fits inside of it there, no problem. So we don't have a clearance issue. Next thing is we want to measure the diameter of this. Get back to American. Okay, that's 878. 875. Okay, so this diameter is almost identical to this shoulder. Okay, so if I took this washer and bored it out, stuck it against here, then that should shimmy out on my distance right here. That'll shimmy right here on this heim joint right here, like this. And that would widen my shock. To about there, maybe. And look at the clearance we got. So that'd make the shock work. Okay, so all I gotta do is take this and bore these out to fit over that edge and we'll be fine. So that'll give me what I need to make the shock work. So that would be a pretty good option there. Now he's going to try to find, get a hold of the manufacturer of the shocks here, which is this brand right here. He's going to see if they make this heim joint spherical bearing. It's not a heim joint. This is a heim joint. This is spherical bearing. Or monoball they call them too. Anyway, if you can get one of these in 5/8, then I don't have to worry about all these adapters. I can just put washers in there on my 5/8 studs that are already in the swing arm. I don't have to do any work. Otherwise, I'm going to have to cut the studs down from 5/8 down to the metric size and deal with it. So that's where we're at right now. So these are 590 on the ID. That's the metric size, and 625 is the stud. So there's where we are. So we got a couple different options available. So tomorrow we'll find out if we can get the heim joint or the spiral bearings. If we can, then I'll go that direction. If not, then I'll take this washer here, bore it out, put it over the shoulder, use these bolts here like this, and I'll cut down the darn swing arm studs on the middle to make it all work. So then we should be able to get them on the bike. And on the top, I'll use the big twin studs on the top to do what I need on that. So once I get that figured out, then I got to figure out what I'm going to do with the struts on the frame. I think the left side is going to come straight back, and the other one will have to bend it in quite a bit. But that's another problem. So everything we do is a little bit of a problem. Just got to work through them. So anyway, for tonight, that's where we're at. I got a plan figured out. So he'll let me know tomorrow what I got to work with. So for now, we're kind of stuck waiting for what we're going to do on this. Hopefully it comes up to bearing. I'll have to deal with a swing arm, but more than likely I'll have to deal with a swing arm. Alright, that's it for tonight.